Welcome back. Let's have it out. My guest tonight is radio DJ Nkini Phasha, better known as Chili M. And now, we are now joined by Nkini Phasha, a board member of spokesperson of SADC. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Good to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Nkini, how does SADC assist in that situation of depression?
Well, first of all, as a South African Depression and Anxiety Group, we are an advocacy group for mental health or mental illnesses in South Africa and also, outside of South Africa as well. So not only do we play the role of advocacy, but also of support and education and creating the awareness around issues pertaining to mental health. We've got campaigns or programs that we run where we go into our communities, particularly your, deep rural areas where we know that there is absolutely lack of, access to proper health care or primary health care facilities in those communities. So we run those programs where we go into those communities, we empower not only obviously the lay people there, but also the community leaders to ensure that they can learn about mental illnesses and also how they can access the help that they so require.
Nkini, when you were listening from DJ Chili M, listening to his story, do you think his depression was the worst than other people that you've experienced from your organization?
Look, we all as individuals, we all are unique in some ways. So, of course, I really would not sort of venture into that sphere in terms of defining whether it was more severe or not. However, we do know that particularly when you're talking about men and depression in the society like ours, there's really quite serious limitations. First of all, we raise our boy child in a different manner that really says to our boy child that, tigers don't cry, that, as a man, you bottle everything in and you must be strong. And, so there is this masculinity gold standard that we try and adhere to, as a society. So therefore, it becomes more difficult as a man in the society to openly talk about your emotional and psychological distress.
We've got our caller, Kumo, from Pretoria. Welcome to eNCA, Kumo.
Hi, how are you guys?
Well, thanks, and you, Kumo?
I'm fine, thank you for asking. My question is, how does one know that going through depression? Because I like to think that I might be going through, but I don't want to self-diagnose myself. Because whenever I'm home, I tend to become very irritable, very moody. I want to be alone. I don't want my parents near me or especially my brother. I'm always showing aggressive. When I'm outside, I'm always be more like But yeah, how does one, how can I tell that I might be going through such things? And if so, where can I go to get help?
Okay, thanks, Kumo. Nkini, how can you answer? Kumo is asking, how can I see that I've got the signs and symptoms of being depressed?
Of being depressed. Kumo talks about being moody. Now, when we talk depression, depression is a mood disorder. So there is a significant change in your mood, and that then comes with, a set of classical symptoms that would then characterize. Now, remember, we all go through, sad moments in our lives. We might be disappointed by a particular situation that we experience that might make us feel down and feel sad. However, when that sadness persists for a period of at least 2 weeks, it's telling us that, that it could be a significant problem, underlying problem, and that would then require some medical attention. He mentions feeling irritable. As men, again, him being a man, obviously men would present, slightly different from what a woman, or a female patient would present. So generally, men will be more aggressive, more irritable. They've got this act-out behavior. Substance abuse is quite a big one, where men will tend to alcohol and other recreational drugs to try and cope, with their depression because they can't talk about it, they have to bottle everything in and toughen up and be a man, But also when you're looking at other key symptoms, obviously change in eating patterns. Some people will tend to, lose appetite, so they won't feel like eating. Other people might...
So meaning those are the signs?
Those are now the classical symptoms of depression. So change in eating patterns, you know. Other people engage in what we call comfort eating, so they will tend to eat a lot. Other people will lose their appetite. Sleeping patterns changes as well, you know, so you may spend hours and hours sleeping, completely feeling like very, you know, fatigued and not having the drive to do anything, you know.
If I might just add on to what you're saying, which is what I normally go through on a daily basis, whereby you'd find that my sleeping pattern actually has totally changed.
Yeah.
I'm more active at night rather than during the day. And then during the day, I am so exhausted and so tired that that's when I really get to rest.
Yeah.
And if you look at it, that is not really normal. But the question that I'd like to actually ask you is that when does depression turn into suicidal mode, and when is that triggered, and when should and what should one actually be wary over?
I like that. Can you
Indeed, and I think, you know, we should have actually started there, because remember, being a mood disorder, there's various factors that can actually lead one to developing depression. It is a medical condition.
Being moody.
Exactly. You know, it's more than just being moody. You know, but it's a medical condition. So there is a fundamental pathology that happens in your brain. Remember, your brain is an organ as well. Like you've got your kidneys, you've got your heart, you've got your liver. It is an organ in your brain, in your body. And what happens when you then develop depression is that some chemicals in your brain, they are deficient. So you don't have enough of what we call your happy chemical, your feel-good chemical, like serotonin. So your brain now is no longer producing enough of that chemical. Parts of your brain then shuts down, and those are the parts that really are responsible for you to be feeling, you know, positive and really upbeat, and, you know, your mood, you know, it's high. So you start to then, those parts of your brain shuts down, and that's where then you start looking to suicide as, you know, as a way out and as a solution.
Okay, we've got Serena from Durban. Hello, good evening, Serena from Durban.
Hi, good evening to you.
Evening, Serena.
Yes.
Yes, welcome to eNCA. What is your story?
I have been suffering from depression from the age of 15. And until this day, I don't know. I just can't seem to be coming right. I just start crying all of a sudden. And I can't tell you, because after I lost my husband or I lost my son, it was like it was in a pattern, one after the other was just dying. My mom passed away. My husband passed away. I lost my son. And it's like I scream and I cry at night. And then I talk to the walls. And then at times I feel, there's no sense in me living. What is life for? To be suffering like this here. And taking antidepressants my whole life. And then from May, June, July, August, September, I have been in and out of hospital. I had 2 heart attacks. And I have water in my lungs. And then I can't think right. Every time I try and think positive, it's not working out.
Okay.
It's just, I don't know what to do anymore.
Thanks, Serena, for you calling from Durban. Nkini, how can you answer this question, Serena, the things that she's going through?
Yeah, it sounds like she's definitely suffering from, you know, major depressive disorder. And what I would urge Serena is, you know, get in touch with us as the South African Depression and Anxiety Group. We'd like to engage with her, because although it sounds like she is on treatment, she has been suffering from this for quite a while. It could be that perhaps the medication that she's on is no longer as effective, or maybe the dosage, you know, so there could be multiple issues. But also, remember, we recommend both pharmacotherapy, which is the medication, and psychotherapy. And this is where then, you know, you go through counseling. And there's different, obviously, forms, you know, of counseling that we engage in. So I would definitely urge Serena to not lose hope, number one. I quite commend her for even making this call to reach out to us. So I really, really would encourage her to get in touch with us as the South African Depression and Anxiety Group, and we'll be able to then engage. And of course, I'm sure our numbers will be flighted on the screen as well, so she could definitely use those contact details.
We will continue to take calls after the break.